All the times General Hospital's Jason cried Daddy Wolf. Oh no, General Hospital's Sasha is pregnant, and Michael is the father. Michael also happens to be married to Willow, mother of his daughter, Amelia Grace, and adoptive mother of his son, Wiley. Michael loves kids, but he loves being self-righteous even more. Michael won't want to admit that he slept with Sasha. Not while he has the moral upper hand over Willow, having slept with Drew. But pregnancy is one of those tough-to-hide secrets, so they'll have to pin the blame on someone else. Boy, we have the perfect candidate. Jason is a pro at this game. Step-in parent. The first time Jason, Steve Burton, played daddy to a baby that wasn't his was back in 1997. Carly, then Sarah Brown, was pregnant by AJ, Seam Cannon, but passing the baby off as Tony's, Brad Mull. When both those relationships imploded, and Carly was afraid of losing baby Michael, Shadwell, she got Jason, Steve Burton, to agree to pretend to be the dad. Even though, back then, we were still clinging to the fiction that Jason would never lie. He did. About this, and many other things. Suffering from postpartum depression, Carly left town, leaving Jason to name, after Sonny, Natch, and baptize Michael. Not to mention decide whether he should get life-saving heart surgery. And she would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for that darn Robin, Kimberly McCullough. Jason stepped in again in 2024. Sam Kelly Monaco was knocked up by Sonny Morris Bernard. Yes, the same Sonny who shares a daughter, Christina, Kate Mancy, with Sam's mom, Alexis, Nancy Lee Gran. The dude gets around, you know. Sam's baby inconvenienced Sonny, who was in the middle of one of his off-again cycles with Carly Laura Wright. So Jason played the role of daddy to the baby girl he and Sam planned to name Leela, after Jason's late grandmother, which made life easier for Sonny. And is there anything more important than that? Generations. Had things turned out differently, Jason may have been Grandpa Mobster to Sasha's, Sophia Matson, baby-to-be. But the way matters appear to be playing out, he may step in to play Fox Daddy. One more time. Jason Morgan was many things. Stoic enforcer, unwavering protector, and the man you could count on in Port Charles when the chips were down. But what most people didn't realize was that behind the stone-cold facade was a man with a secret vulnerability. A tendency to cry out, "Daddy Wolf," in moments of desperation. It started one fateful night during Jason's early years as Sonny Corintho's right-hand man. Jason had just returned from a high-stakes mission that had gone south. He found himself in Sonny's dimly lit office, his hands trembling as he poured himself a glass of bourbon. Sonny watched, leaning back in his leather chair. "You all right, Jace?" Sonny asked, his voice low but concerned. Jason stared into the ember liquid, the silence growing heavy. Suddenly he muttered under his breath, "Daddy Wolf." Sonny blinked. "What did you say?" Jason shook his head quickly, his expression hardening. "Nothing. Just thinking." But Sonny couldn't shake it. That night, he confided in Carly, who had her own theories. Jason's always been the strong, silent type, she mused, but maybe he has a soft spot no one knows about. You know, like some code word for when he feels vulnerable. The phrase didn't come up again for a while, at least not in front of Sonny or anyone else. But Sam McCall, Jason's on-again, off-again love, heard it during a heated argument. They were in the penthouse, voices rising as they clashed over one of Jason's many secret missions. "You don't get to shut me out, Jason. Not after everything we've been through." Sam shouted, tears brimming in her eyes. Jason's jaw clenched, and for a moment, he looked like he might storm out. But then his voice cracked. "Daddy Wolf," he muttered almost inaudibly, as he turned away. Sam froze. "What did you just say?" Jason rubbed the back of his neck, his face a mix of frustration and embarrassment. "It's nothing, Sam. Forget it." Jason Morgan, General Hospital's legendary hitman with a heart of gold, wasn't one to show his emotions easily. Trained by stone-cold silence and loyal to a fault, he had a reputation as a man who could stand against anything: bullets, betrayals, even the tumultuous love of his life, Sam McCall. But beneath that stoic exterior was a man who, on occasion, couldn't help but cry out for his surrogate father, Sonny Corinthos, the mob boss he affectionately referred to as Daddy Wolf. Here's a recount of some of the most memorable moments when Jason let his guard down, calling out for the man who taught him loyalty and strength, and who he loved like family. 1. The warehouse explosion. Jason stood amidst the smoldering ruins of one of Sonny's prized warehouses, his leather jacket singed at the edges. The rival mob had targeted their shipment, leaving behind chaos and flames. Sonny, always the first to protect his territory, had gone in before Jason could stop him. As smoke filled the air, Jason's voice cracked. "Daddy Wolf," he shouted, his normally calm tone rising with urgency. He scrambled through the debris, his hands blistered and trembling. When he found Sonny unconscious, but alive beneath a collapsed beam, Jason knelt down, tears streaming. "You promised you'd wait for me." He choked out, his voice breaking as he cradled Sonny's head. 2. Michael's custody battle. When Carly's volatile relationships and Sonny's mob life collided with the courts, Jason stepped in to protect Michael, the boy he once raised as his own. Despite his efforts, the judge granted sole custody to A.J. Quartermain, Jason's biological brother, but Michael's unworthy father in Jason's eyes. That night, Jason found himself on Sonny's terrace, a bottle of whiskey untouched on the table. He looked out at the Port Charles skyline, the weight of failure crushing him. Sonny emerged, his footsteps soft. "I let him down," Jason said, his voice a whisper. Then louder, a crack of desperation. "Daddy Wolf, why didn't we win?" Sonny placed a hand on Jason's shoulder. "Sometimes we don't win, but we never stop fighting." 3. Sam's disappearance. Sam's knack for danger had put her in a tight spot yet again, vanishing during a routine PI job. Jason, used to finding her no matter the odds, hit dead end after dead end. Days turned into weeks, and Jason's cool demeanor began to crumble. Late one night, he stormed into Sonny's office. "I can't do this without her, Sonny. I can't lose her." His voice rose, his hands slamming onto the desk. "What do I do, Daddy Wolf?" Sonny, his face lined with his own worries, leaned forward. "You find her. And if you can't find her, you keep looking until you do. That's what you taught me, Jason." For a moment, the roles reversed. Jason nodded, his tears barely held back. "You're right. We don't stop." 4. The Rooftop Confession. During one of Port Charles' iconic snowstorms, Jason and Sonny found themselves trapped on the roof of the Metro Court. The cold air seemed to loosen Jason's normally guarded tongue. "Do you ever think about what it would have been like if I stayed Jason Quartermain?" Jason asked, his breath visible in the freezing air. Sonny chuckled softly. "You wouldn't have survived a week in that life. Too many rules." Jason laughed briefly before growing somber. "I don't know where I'd be if you hadn't found me, Sonny. You're more than a boss. More than a friend. You're May." He hesitated, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Daddy Wolf." Sonny smiled, the kind of rare, genuine smile that only Jason ever earned. "And you're my son, Jason. Always."